the garden. Not up close, but because you can't zoom in for some reason.
Oh, you can, but it mucks up your thing.
No, you can't. When you're on this, you can't zoom in.
I thought you did when we were at the back doing it on the chalk.
Yep, you can do it using the YouTube old way, but you can't do it using the Streamlabs. It just keeps your camera fixed. You can't zoom. I don't know why, but that's the case.
And going to bring the other dog pen. I'll clean this up.
Got the wild one.
No, like the easy black one that's easy to put together and that.
Okay.
Put here. I'll clean this up a bit.
Oh, it'll be too many weeds and
No, I'm going to cut all these.
maybe there. It's
Yeah.
cleaner.
I'm going to cut all this down.
Hello, Rujex.
Just sometimes so they can sit outside with us.
Wouldn't it be better there? Where the wood chips are? Just a lot of ryegrass and you get in their fur.
I know, but it's very big.
Okay.
I can cut all this down. I'll take it off.
Well, this is all getting cleaned up at the end of the build. This
No,
will
no, I mean,
just be
I'm
pavers.
not going to pull it out. I'm just going to cut all, with my things and cut off all the ryegrass.
The rest of it's starting to die off now, which is good. What have you been up to, Roo? Anything exciting? Little garden over there. Going okay, this is week 2. Hello, Kathy. Yeah, it is. I can't zoom in when I'm on this Streamlabs thing. I don't know why. The old YouTube live stream, you could zoom in and out, but you can't do it on this thing. Don't know why. But they're going alright. See this? These always go berserk. See that? That's a cherry tomato. I've got 3 sticks.
Oh, that's alright, yeah.
I've got 3 sticks for that. I've got one there, one there, and one there, because they just go berserk. Building a woodworking area in my garage. Are you going to start building things, making things? Yeah, they're doing alright. Haven't lost anything. No cat paws to be found. Or you have a lathe. You are going to make stuff. There's a few channels I actually go to, Rujex, and watch them turn or create, you know, stuff for the grandkids, rocking horses. I've seen that. That's always interesting. Well, for me, the drama community are never there. Yes, imagine when your mind gets set to it, because you'll end up doing things like making shelves, little bookcases. I'll be doing a few things in my shed. I can't at the moment because it's chock-a-block full of everything, but I'll be doing a few things. Always fascinates me how the grain looks when you start shaping a bowl. Just you think you know what it's going to look like, then all the different colours and layers, and brilliant. But we had a storm. We got away with it. Didn't have any damage. Had a big storm. It ripped through the big city that we live in and took a lot of things down. Hopefully none of them were mine, which was good. I had one years ago, but I bought one a couple of weeks ago. It's a little sander that you stick the triangle type pads on. Hello, Lake. And I'll be using that to do a lot of the base work for cleaning up these old windows that I bought. They don't need too much done to them, but they do need sanding in some areas. I'm sort of thinking I'll clean up the outside of the windows and paint them, and then I will clean up the inside and expose the timber and varnish them. So at this stage. Outside, if you do timber, it's a yearly sort of process to keep on top of it. But if you put a good paint on, well, you got 3 or 4 good years before you need to worry about it. Hello, Sean. Yeah, so we get our weird weather this time of the year. We're not supposed to have this storm that came yesterday. That should have been the end of it about a month ago, but it came up. I haven't seen one this late. I mean, we're in October. It normally finishes around the end of August, but it ripped through. It looked like a little cyclone or a little hurricane. I'll take you for a little walk and I'll show you where we're up to in the build. And at the end of next week I'll be doing another video. I know not everyone's interested in it, but some of you are. Quick look at the garden. One's decided to chuck out a tomato early. Strawberries are going well. I know when the grandkids go around, I am not going to see any of these damn strawberries. Little chilli and capsicum plants are going okay. Tomato bushes are probably doubled in size over a week, so that's good. Herbs. And this is why I have 3 sticks for cherry. This particular cherry tomato is the sweet truss. And they're yum, but man, they go berserk. So that's only 4 weeks growth. So that'll be a beauty. And there's some cucumbers. These are Lebanese cucumbers. They're yum. The bricking stage, all the bricks are here. I'll just raise that up and show you. I've started to cut into the house because the brick line will follow into there. And the outside course is on the ground on that footing. The layer of bricks go down the bottom there, and then the lower bricks start on the top here. So they've spent all day yesterday just lining up their bricks for where they're going to be working. The profiles are up. We covered our windows and they didn't get damaged, which was good. So not much else to show you. But they, this is only week 5, so they've moved on pretty quickly. And someone said, "Why'd you clean up all your weeds?" We are, very shortly. We're waiting for the finish of the back build, and then all this area will be paving and raised gardens. I've got a friend that lives in Austin. Big city. It seems worldwide trend that everyone should be equal, Sean, based on, egalitarian rules and things like that. It's a wonderful idea. Unfortunately, not everyone pulls their weight. That's where it falls down. You can have an egalitarian society if everyone lifts at the same time. But what happens is that the money is spread amongst everyone, literally, one form or another through welfare, and they decide the easy life is much better. We'll get Sean to keep working, Seeds to keep working, and Lake to keep working, and they can pay for my life. That's where it falls down. What do I believe in? Well, I believe you should get paid for what you do and be safe in doing that, whatever work that is, and you should reap the rewards of your effort. but you shouldn't get something for nothing. Hello, Vinny. Vinny knows what I'm talking about. You get in life what you put into it. You get out what you've put into it. You don't just get given the stuff. There's nothing wrong with everyone having a sustainable level of living, but you know, if you're lifting everyone up and they're not helping as well, we have a word for them in Australia. Vinny knows the word. It's called being a bludger. A bludger is someone who expects everyone else to give them something and make no effort in return. And we don't like bludgers, believe it or not. We have a low tolerance for them. But then again, you get people that are just blonks, bullfeds and drongos, but above all of them, a bludger is the worst. An old bludger. Yeah, there are genuine people getting unemployment, genuine, but only a few. A lot of them decide it's a lifestyle, a career move. And in Australia, you don't get 99 weeks, you get life. You can keep receiving unemployment for life. There are generations of families that do just that. It must be the most boring existence. Normally it involves, obviously, copious amounts of alcohol to a certain part of the week until the money runs out. Abuse, taking up the resources of the police. I could go on and on and on, but you know what I'm talking about. Idle hands and all that. I've been semi-retired for years. Ticking up. Not really. It's not really. The colloquial term for a bludger in Australia is not a pimp. He's just a lazy prick who expects everyone to give him stuff. So I'm not sure where you got that slang from. That's not. I'm sure Vinny would agree with me. That's not how we see a bludger. Just a lazy prick, basically. No, I agree with you, Blake. Yeah, it's one of these things, Sean. What you must have is something to go and do. I've got several friends, and one of them died, and it's pretty common. If some bloke gets to about 65 years of age, retires in Australia, he leaves his job where he's got... and Vinny would empathise with this. He's been through this, where you've got like 50 to 100 associates that you work with, and because you get injured, ill or retire, they all disappear. You get a couple that hang on, that were good mates, but that interaction you have, particularly as a man, with other blokes during the day, as associates, business partners, whatever, that all goes. And if you've got nothing to go to, it's a very lonely existence. It's so boring. And I'm pretty sure my old mate, he just made 65. He was pretty good health, but he ended up dying. And I think he became a bit of a recluse too. Well, one thing we can't do, Sean, is, this frame we call a body does certain things. It carries, and then shit happens. I've had a couple of things shitty happen, but you don't need to know, and there's no big deal in it. Everyone goes through. I think it's working. If I cut off, it didn't work. Look, I mean, there's two things that are very obvious to me over the many years, and that is there's a difference between being lonely and being alone. Like you've just summed it up. You're happy to have the time to yourself to do whatever you want. Some people struggle to do that. They become lonely. There's a huge difference between being alone and lonely, really. Yes, we have dandelions. We've got every weed known to man here, mate. Yeah, I suppose that's the truth, Sean. You probably needed time to find out what you were going to do and how you were going to do it, and how you're going to spend your time. But like I say, I find you could pick the people on YouTube, and I'm not going to name them, But there's a shitload of lonely people that this is their life. And I have no problem with that, because if this is the outlet that they can only do, that's good. But I wonder sometimes whether they insulate themselves from the outside world because they've got this online world and become reclusive. And you know what I mean? It's like everything in life, I believe you have to have a balance. The old story, too much of a good thing, it's probably true. Yeah, so I'm showing you my patch of weeds at the moment. But this veranda, a little postage stamp of veranda I'm sitting on at the moment, will go all the way out to the end and out. Nice timber decking, nice roof. But there's no point doing that until after I finish out the back. I knew it would happen. One of the trucks has hit the side of the fence. They've got to fix up one of the panels. One of the guys hit the front of the fence, which is just Super 6, and we're not keeping it. We're going to go with a wall. But the guy that shit himself, and I said, "Oh mate, this is going to cost you thousands." And he said, "Oh no, I didn't mean to." I said, "No, well, maybe just 700 or 800 we might cover the damage." He goes, "Oh shit, my boss is going to sack me." I said, "Nah, he's all right. We're pulling it down." You can see the sweat coming on his brow. I was just taking a piss out of him. But there are, and it's you see them, all of you know them. These people that live online, and the smallest thing upsets them or excites them. It's like online is their life, and so it boils down to that. Anything that goes online and affects them is real. Yeah, I think you're still a young puppy, Sean, but I don't know, there's got to be something. I don't know actually where you live exactly, but maybe fishing, join a club. We have a thing in Australia, and they're great blokes that do this. It's called Men's Club. Vinny would know what I'm talking about. It's all over Australia. It's just big sheds the councils put up, blokes get together, they do community projects, all sorts of things. Hello, Monchichi. Mr. Siege is inside, I think. Started with nomadic formatic for me. I'll go way back past there. Some of you will remember people like Von Helter and G for T. There's even people before them, believe it or not. Lake Tahoe, that's a lovely area. But you travel a bit. I know that you go back over the pond. You've got family over there. But like I said to you a few months ago, Sean, revisiting the UK after exactly 50 years, I mean, I had a concept in my mind that things would change, and I understand that literally everything is multicultural now. But I struggled to find an Englishman, Sean, do you know what I mean? I really did. And I'm expecting the accents that I remember from different districts and areas, but they'd all been melded. Hello, Dream. And is that a bad thing? Probably not. But I sort of missed that individuality of different areas. You only had to travel 20 miles when I was a kid, and people spoke different. Not now. And when we got to Manchester, we couldn't catch up with one of our friends there, of course, but I only found one Manc who actually spoke Mancunian. And I said to him, "You're the only Manc I've found." He said, "Don't worry, mate, I struggle to see any around anywhere here too, and I live here." So where are you going on your vacation, mate? Back to Blighty, or are you finding somewhere warmer? I'll give you a tip, go to Thailand. You'll love it. You really will. Yeah, I love Asian countries in general, pretty good. Vietnam's great. Bali is just up the road for us. It's only 3 miles. No, it's not too bad. Exactly this time of the year, October, in Thailand's nice. It's not hot. Well, I'm an Aussie, so when I say it's not hot for me. But it's beautiful. People are beautiful, friendly. In Bali, they're all in your face. So we're probably not going back to Bali. Nah, we had a storm here yesterday, Dream. Blew dozens of trees down, rips roofs off. Luckily we didn't cop any damage. It's only about 18 degrees here today, which, as you know, that's cold for us. I used to wear, unbeknown to many people, Sean, I wore suits for years. Hated it, literally hated it. And there is a certain thing that happens when you get into that corporate field, is that generally most of the people have got their heads so far up their arse, the only thing they want to talk about is themselves. And Sean knows exactly what I'm talking about. And I never liked that. We used to always get invited to go here and go there. And I'd say, look, I'm not making an excuse, I just don't like the bullshit. Oh, okay. So yeah, I never liked that. Never liked wearing suits. Well, at least with an expat community, you have a sense of what used to be, I guess. Yeah, I don't think anyone got hurt, but there's a fair bit of damage. But it's just odd this time of year, October. We're normally into the heat by now. Like I say, it's about 18 degrees. It should be, well, Tuesday here is 32, and I think that in Fahrenheit's about 90, and I can't wait for it. I'd have 32 every day. Yeah, the only thing that's cool here, Sean, for us, not you, you'll be wearing shorts here as well, is the wind. As soon as it gets windy and it's about 20 degrees, I've got jumpers on. I've got a jumper on today. Yeah, but when I was in the UK with the wife recently, on the newspapers, you probably saw it, 24 degrees, 3 days in a row. They considered that, in the UK, a heat wave. Unbelievable. There you go, JP sums it up. The only cool thing in this town is me. It's not big nutting yourself by any measure, I guess. But it warms up quickly now. We'll be hitting in Fahrenheit, 90 will be an average day. The odd 100 will kick in. And then summer will start in January. Yeah, 33, that's not really hot for us. See, WA is probably the hottest state in Australia, where I live. You're bloody mad, Sean. Yeah, we'll have what you guys would call Armageddon, 10, 20 days, even 30 days over 100. And we'll go, yeah, it's warm. But different. Like the first thing you notice when you get to UK, when you do find a pom, is they're lily white, like they're lambs. You can spot them when they arrive in Australia. They'll just go around with shorts and a singlet, and then the next day they're in hospital with second-degree burns from the sun. They burn easy. Very tender skins, the Englishmen. Many years ago, and I know Sean will remember these people, but I played in a country 11 cricket team against the English. And David Gower, Gooch, Alan Lamb, all those. They like a drop to drink. David, not so much. And I remember saying to David, how are you finding the heat? Because it was about 90. He said, does it get any hotter? I said, yeah. He said, good, we're only here for 2 days. He didn't like the heat. Yeah, I thought that video was funny, JP, because you smell it everywhere you go. But you took it back to your hotel? Really? I bet you're not going back to that hotel, are you? Because they won't let you. It's stinky. Yeah, I suppose sickly smell, but it's between something being sick and something being dead for a couple of weeks, is how I would describe it. I've tried it. It's not unpleasant as in texture and taste, but the fruit stinks. But you took it back to your hotel. I think they actually fine you in some hotels if you do that. But it's a beautiful place. JP's been there many times. I've been there a couple of times to Thailand. I love it. The people are so friendly, and not just because of your tourist dollar. They're naturally happy people. And I'd eat anywhere. I've eaten off the roadside stalls. Food's magnificent. If you spent $10 on a meal, you wouldn't be able to eat it. It'd be too much. Yeah, 2,000 baht fine. I'd fine you, you prick, stinking up the hole. Because I don't think the smell would go away for a month. Hasn't rained in 5 months. We're used to that. We're used to a whole year passing by with no rain sometimes. So we look forward to the rain. Didn't expect yesterday's storm, but we didn't get a lot of rain. Probably about 5 mil, 10 mil. It was really the wind. But we always want rain. It's the highest priority commodity in Australia, water. Got several areas that have, they just can't get enough rain, so they have desalination plants near the ocean. And there's one up north in Denham, near Shark Bay. They have desal. It's okay, but you can't beat rainwater. Never will. I've just finished making up. I make these rolls. They're a crusty roll, which I cut in half, put a little bit of mayo on one side, raw onion, good layer of raw onion, then some cheddar cheese sliced, put on top of that, and then cooked bacon. Then I fold it all over and wrap it in tin foil, or whatever you guys call it. We call it aluminium foil here. Then I whack it in the oven for about 15 minutes on about 180, and the bun goes crispy and crunchy and the cheese melts, and it's delicious. And I've never filmed me doing it. I forgot to do it this morning. Yeah, Australians, when a storm comes, we go outside to watch it. People must think we're mad. In my lifetime, I've seen some magnificent storms, but they seem less frequent. Yeah, the one thing you do need, even in hot weather, is to get a good night's sleep. And I don't know what you guys do during your summer, but nearly all of us will open up the house in the morning while it's only like 70 degrees. Let that go through the whole house, and about 9:30, close everything up, and the house stays cool for most of the day. But at night time, if it gets too hot, I'll either whack a fan on, or if I have to, I'll put the air conditioner on, but it's not that often. And if you live in the UK, not many people have air conditioners. I think that'll be changing over the next decade in the UK. I think you'll find lots more people will buy a reverse cycle, because they're starting to suffer and see the events of the climate getting hotter. Like I said the other day, I don't care if it's man-made or planet destined, the planet's getting hotter. You cannot deny that climate is changing within our lifetime. I'm 60 and it's changed, okay? It's not a case of, has it changed a bit? No. The summers are hotter, drier, the winters are less cold and less rain. That's where I live. But around the globe, it's hot. Texas gets as hot as, I've got friends in Texas, it gets as hot as Australia. But the heat never really bothers us. Like, we'll sit outside when it's 100, have a cold drink on the veranda, A lot of people, 100 degrees is like death. They get scared. Yeah, you just work with it, don't you, Dream? If there's a sea breeze, open the windows up. Where I live, we get what we call a wind in the afternoon, and some are called the Fremantle Doctor. It comes from way down south though, but they call it the Frio Doctor because the first place it hits in Perth is Fremantle. But as sure as eggs, around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it might be 105, 110, and then the sea breeze rips in and it goes down to 75. And it happens nearly every day. So we get hot, 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 and then we get that breeze kick in the afternoon. Sometimes it doesn't come in due to atmospheric circumstances, but most of the time. So you'll see most people close their houses up between about 9:30 and 2:30 when the sea breeze kicks in. They turn off the air conditioners, open the doors and windows, and we use the natural air conditioning from the ocean. But that's where I live. On the east coast, it's not that common. You get breezes, but the city is so damn big in Sydney. When I was a young bloke, if it got really hot, even in Australia, air conditioners weren't that common in the 70s. If it got that hot, you just took a swag down to the beach and laid on the beach. And that was always like 30 degrees cooler. Just have to watch out for the tide. But there is, I think I said it a couple of weeks ago, we had a thing when I was a kid, you go to people's places and they would have built a Coolgardie cooler. That's because Coolgardie's in the bush, but they get a bit of breeze day and night. You get 2 layers of shade cloth over like a chicken wire fence, if you like. Build it a dome or build a square, and what you do is you run PVC pipe in there, and you have all these little sprayers that only spray the water basically onto the thick shade cloth. So when you sit inside it, A, you've got shade, and B, when the wind blows, you have an air conditioner, like an evaporative air conditioner. And that was used quite common. You go to people's places just to sit in there with a cold beer and a mist blowing on the shade cloth. Works a treat. Oh look, my Chi-Chi, in the middle of summer here, if the easterly comes off the desert, which is not far away, we've got 7 deserts in my state. It's a big state. But if the wind comes off in the morning, it's literally like opening an oven. It is just like that. You go outside and go, geez. And we get about a month of that. That's when we sort of tick around 100 every day. That's January, February. Owl? No, there's no owls out in the daytime here. We do have them. I should do a video first thing in the morning. This place is like a menagerie of birds. They just go berserk from about 6 o'clock till about 7. That's a finch, I think you can hear. We've got budgies, eagles, hawks, magpies, every parrot you can imagine. Little peewees, tiny little birds, they're really cute. But I only come on for a little bit. I just wanted to see maybe if Miss Hooker was around, but I don't think she's doing much these days, and I wish her well, but I haven't seen her. Yeah, it gets hot. I mean, I lived up in Darwin for a couple of years, and I've lived in Queensland. I lived everywhere, actually, in Australia. Queensland's not too bad. Darwin can get a bit oppressive. But where I live, it's basically a temperate climate. It's very hot. Doesn't get that cold, even though I'll bitch about it. But yeah, it's a beautiful part of the world. I've got the river over that way, and I've got the ocean over that way. So I can't complain. Anyway, guys, I'm sure you'll find more interesting people to go and listen to than me. Probably far more controversial than I'll ever be, but I hope you have a good night wherever you are, or a good day. We're dreamers, and I'll catch all of you another time. So good to catch up with you, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.